Welcome everybody to a look at the second 4K limited edition release from Indicator to be released this week. Obviously I did review the previous one early because I did get both of them actually a couple of days before the official release date. But yeah, finally getting around to this one, and it is 1974's The Perfume of the Lady in Black. So this is directed by Francesco Barilli, who I've not seen anything else from before. Much like the director of the previous film, only did one other film in the 70s, another Giallo by the looks of things, but didn't really do much else outside of that. So yeah, this is a Giallo film, clocks in at 104 minutes long, so longer than the previous film. And yeah, stars Mimsy Farmer, who was in Alonso, who I think we actually talked about with the previous film, as there was another actor in that. She was also in Four Flies on Grey Velvet and The Black Cat, which is one of my favourite of the Italian films from the 80s. I also saw Maurizio Banuglia, who was also in the likes of The Fifth Chord and The Weapon, The Hour, and The Motive. Granted, he was in a far more of a supporting role in those two films, whereas he's in a much more leading role in this one. And it also stars Mario Scaccia, who was also in We Still Kill the Old Way and the Exorcist knockoff, The Antichrist. So Sylvia, an industrial scientist, is troubled by strange hallucinations related to the tragic suicide of her mother. So unlike the prior film we looked at from Indicator, that was also in the Giallo genre, this isn't quite as conventional as that film. We have no black gloves, we have no POV shots, we have no, serial killer or anything like that. But this is the reason it is less conventional is due to this relying more on the psychological and, in some respects, the supernatural genres, while having the violence coupled with the sex and nudity that is typical of the genre. But I wouldn't say it's anywhere near as sleazy as, say, Death, yeah, Death Carries a Cane. Um, the cinematography is also excellent. The score is great. The cast is really good. It is deeply atmospheric, especially when it's getting across these psychological elements. The pacing is on point. The violence is effective, although not quite as numerous as Death Carries a Cane. It is engrossing throughout. The hallucinatory scenes are well executed, and that's where a lot of the atmosphere actually comes from. And the ending is satisfyingly done as well. So, yeah, just as good as Death Carries a Cane, to be honest, although in a completely different kind of way. But 4 out of 5 regardless, just like that film. And yeah, really a rather enjoyable effort throughout, to be honest. A really good build up to the finale. And yeah, as per usual with Indicator, we get a really rather exquisite looking physical aspect. So again, we get the cardboard cases with the two different kind of posters, which are nicely done. We also get a little bit on the reverse now. This isn't actually in the film, I don't think. Oh yeah, it is actually, yeah. But it kind of gets across the kind of fantasy kind of element that comes into this film in certain regards. I'm not going to try and get into too many spoilers, but there is certainly a sort of fantasy element that is related to the likes of Alice in Wonderland. But it's only very, very minimalist in terms of that regard. But yeah, and then we also get a booklet with this release as well. So minor spoilers for the film, as there is a shot from the film, and I don't want to spoil it too much. So yeah, I was just reading a message on my phone there. So yeah, minor spoilers for the film itself, but here's a shot from the film itself. And then we've got a shot of the director, I believe, on the reverse. And then we have shots through the film throughout as well as cast and crew, Sense and Sensibility or A Nose for Trouble by Paul Duane from 2025. Mimsy Farmer begins a comeback at 20, that's from 1966. Cinema Between Brushstrokes, an interview with Francesco Barilli by Roberto Curti from 2011, about the restoration, and then indicator credits as well. So yeah, this is actually the only other film that the director did from the 70s, which is talked about in this book. Does look interesting though, so who knows? Maybe we'll get another two releases from the same two directors that we've already had a look at, and we'll see their follow ups also from the 70s, which would be cool. And yeah, more shots from the film throughout. Some of the cast. And yeah, about the restoration itself. So let's take a look at what was done to it. So The film was scanned in 4K at Augustus Color in Rome using the original 35mm negative. 4K HDR color correction and restoration work was undertaken at Filmfinity in London, where Phoenix image processing tools were used to remove many thousands of instances of dirt, eliminate scratches and other imperfections, as well as repair damaged frames. No grain management, edge enhancement, or sharpening tools were employed to artificially alter the image in any way. Audio conform and restoration work on the English and Italian tracks were carried out by Michael Brook using Isotope RX10. So that's exactly what was done for Death Carries a Cane. And as a result, this looks absolutely superb, just like Death Carries a Cane, quite frankly. But like with that film, I have no other reference for how the film should or shouldn't look. So yeah, that's just the way it goes sometimes. But yeah, I watched the English language version of this film. Figured since I watched the Italian language version of Death Carries a Cane, I'd watch the English language version for this just to see how their work has done, on that front. And yeah, looks, sounds just as good as the Italian version of Death Carries a Cane. To be honest, obviously it is dubbed, so therefore some of the mouth movements don't entirely line up, but they do line up far better than you will have seen from perhaps other films. So yeah, all good on that front. And in terms of extras on the actual disc itself, like I said, we have the English language version, but we also have the Italian version as well as the original mono audio commentary with film historians Eugenio Colani, Troy Howarth, and Nathaniel Thompson from 2025. They were also doing the same thing for the Death Carries a Cane. Then we got Exploring Beauty from 2025, that clocks in at 20 minutes long. That's an in depth interview with Francesco Barilli, in which the director reflects on the perfume in The Lady in Black and his life in art and film. And then we've got The Death of Cinema from 2025, clocks in at 15 minutes long. Barilli talks about his directorial debut and the challenges of making films in Italy in this new presentation of a 2015 interview. And we've got Portrait in Black from 2004, that clocks in at 25 minutes long. That is archival interview with Barilli on the film's production and release. Then we've got The Memories of the Lady in White from 2025, clocks in at 12 minutes long. That's an interview with German-Italian actor Daniela Barnes, aka Laura Wendell, who plays the young Sylvia. And then we've got the Perfumo Affair from 2025, clocks in at 35 minutes long. Critical appreciation by author and musician Stephen Thrower. Then we've got a classical approach from 2025 that cuts in at 34 minutes long, so a minute shorter than the previous one. DJ and soundtrack enthusiast Lovely John analyzes Nicola Piovani's sumptuous score. Like I said, it is an excellent score, really, really lush. Adds a lot of atmosphere, but also, I guess you could say, production quality to the film itself. Then you got Barilli's Roma from 2025, clocks in at 6 minutes long. That's a then and now tour of the film's locations, optional English and Italian theatrical trailers. Sorry, original, not optional. And then we've got Image Gallery, that's promotional and publicity material. Then new and improved English subtitles for the deaf and hard of hearing for the English language soundtrack, as well as new and improved English translation subtitles for the Italian soundtrack. And just like with the previous film, Death Carries a Cane, 4,000 of these are in 4K and 1,000 of them are in Blu-ray format for the UK. I believe I got, what did I get? 3,155 of 4,000. So this definitely seems to be the more popular one of the two releases. Because like I said, I ordered these both at the same time, and yet Death Carries a Cane was 1,809. So yeah, nearly 2,000 difference there. So yeah, I guess that one's this one is the more popular film of the two, but I have enjoyed both of them just as much as one another. I do think they go about doing the Giallo genre in different ways, and that's only a good thing. A genre should not be confined to certain elements, and yeah, should certainly try and do new and different things within that genre, but in an effective and engaging way, and that is exactly what this does. And yeah, as a result, they complement each other. We get the more ordinary kind of conventional the Giallo with Death Carries a Cane, and then we get the less conventional, but still has a few of the same elements in the Perfume of the Lady in Black. So yeah, overall an excellent effort from the director, but also an excellent release from Indicator, who once again have knocked it out of the park with the physical aspects of this release, because it's always nice to have a really nice, box. to go along with the release itself. And yeah, but it's not all about just the physical presentation. The actual presentation in terms of the film is a great, and the film on its own merits is also an excellent effort as well. So yeah, hope Indicator really do come in more on the Giallo genre. Really, I don't believe they've done much in that genre before, to be honest. So yeah, and certainly haven't really released much in the way of 4K in that genre either. So yeah, if they can source some more efforts from the genre, either ones that we've had on Blu-ray before or new films new to the 4K or Blu-ray format, regardless, it would only be a great thing, to be honest. Obviously, likes of Arrow Video have released many genre film before, but whether or not they're ever going to get around to doing all of their films that they've released in the past on 4K, I don't know, because obviously we have had the Fifth Chord, for instance, on Blu-ray from Arrow Video, but we've not yet had a 4K release of that either yet. So yeah, but whatever Indicator does in the future, I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Obviously, we do have the Columbia Noir box set coming out in about a month or so, so really looking forward to that. But nonetheless, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've seen this film before, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.